Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are continuing the 100 Dragon Challenge. So for today, I thought I'd put myself outside of my comfort zone and do one that's been highly requested, which is kind of a robot futuristic dragon. So first and foremost, I will tell you guys a little bit about my childhood before I jump into this one. Growing up, I was into anime before I knew what anime was. Like, obviously, you know, at least my generation, I grew up watching Digimon and Pokemon and Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. I had no clue that those were anime, but one of the ones that I watched a lot, and my brother and I used to brainstorm like, oh, how would we build one? Or how would we make one? Could we buy this plot of land and make it an arena? That was Zoids. I loved Zoids. I actually have a model kit for the Liger Zero that my husband bought me a while ago. I just haven't had time to make it, and I just love the Zoids series. Just absolutely adore it. I actually would like to know from you guys, I'm gonna put a poll. Would you like to see me either Twitch stream or maybe do a video of me building the Liger? Like, give me a work excuse so I can finish it, please, because I'm never gonna finish it if it's a fun project. I have to do it if it's a work thing. But either way, really loved Zoids. They were just such a big passion of mine. I have a box downstairs in the garage somewhere, which I'll find one of these days, and maybe we'll jump in and redraw one. But I was really into architecture and like designing robots and different things when I was younger, and I have countless drawings of me drawing Zoids. Like, I tried to design my own Zoids based off of other animals that I didn't see in the show, or like, let's say I wanted to add like an extra cool wolf type of Zoid. Like, that was my jam. I just drew them all the time. And then my brother, it was funny. I really distinctly remember us sitting and I was like drawing, and I called him like the brains of the operation. Like, I'm not trying to downplay me at all, but he is much more of a technical mind than I am. Like, I feel I'm pretty good, like working for Apple and having at least a little bit of a love of math and science. I feel like I'm pretty okay, but man, my brother just has like technology brain. So I remember I was like, you'll be the brains and I'll be the designer. Let's go make a Zoid. I just remember being a kid and just trying to think how we could pull that off. So long story short, that's where I got the inspiration for today's dragon. I absolutely love Zoids, and I love the design of the mechs, and so I was like, you know, mechs are a big uncomfort of mine now. It's kind of funny, looking back as a kid, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna draw a mech Zoid thing, but now it's just very uncomfortable for me to try to draw anything mechanical. Like, I'm very much an organic artist, so to push myself to do a mech, I knew I had to like channel something I loved, and of course, that was Zoids. And I just, God, I could go on and on about the show and just the cool designs. Like, I loved the different armor pieces that the Liger would get, and like the cool like blade that would come out the side of the Liger. Oh God, I just loved it. And then just having like the raptor Zoids were super cool, and like the elephant one. Man, I kind of want to go back and rewatch the series now that I'm older. It was such a good show to me. It's probably super cheesy. Knowing the anime of the 80s to 90s, it was probably crazy cheesy, and it was kind of like a monster of the week thing. I bet one of them has some major plot, but you know, I think I just want to go back and witness it so I can just see the cool Zoids running around. Oh, that'd make me so excited. So yep, I designed basically this Zoid-esque dragon. I decided to have kind of those propeller jet type of things on its back for its wings. Instead of having full-on wings, there were those, I think they were pterodactyl Zoids that were in the show. I thought of doing that as well, but I think I just really wanted to do a Liger-based one. I just love all the Liger stuff. I am a sucker for the Liger Zoid, so any bit of inspiration I could get from there, I did for sure put into this. It's kind of funny, I also at first was thinking of making this like a techno mech. So when I was brainstorming this, I was like, oh, we could do some cool blues and purples and really make this thing shine and be really awesome. But I was like, you know, I'm gonna save techno for another one. Like, we'll do some other cool mechanical thing that is very much like maybe techno music based, something like that. We'll save that for another time, but this one, I was like, you know, let's just go all in on just the mech aspect and do that. I did look at a lot of reference in terms of how the Zoids were built in the show and the toys. Like, the toys are super helpful. I have one downstairs that a friend of mine, sadly she's deceased, but an old friend of mine in high school, she gave me this like blue Liger forever ago, and I love that toy. It's still on my shelf, and we both really liked Zoids, and yeah, I don't remember how I convinced her to give it to me, or maybe she just gave it to me because she knew I loved it so much more and like was still just really into it. I don't know. Anyway, I had the toy up here looking at it, just kind of referencing how the different parts connected and how basically the Zoids are built overall, because like you can't build a Zoid by looking at like, you know, a Transformer, or maybe you could get a bit closer with a Gundam, but just Zoids just had a look, you know? They just had a certain design quality to them, and you can really tell what a Zoid is depending on like the connectors or how the claws look, and they just had very particular design aspects that you could be like, oh yep, right there, that is a Zoid. And the line art for this piece took quite a long time. I really wanted to go in on details. I was like, you know, I'm already in my uncomfort zone, so let's not chicken out. Let's just go all in. Let's do like mech style details and really give this some personality and depth. I was like, I just gotta go all in. It's gonna suck, and I know it's gonna take a long time, but we're gonna make this line art look super sick and really cool. So now that we have finished up the line art, it was time to just clean it up. I hit it real quick with my eraser, brushed off all the extras, and now it was time to pick colors. So like I said, I kind of already had an idea coloring wise what I was thinking. Even though this isn't like going to be a techno dragon anymore, I still had the idea of like those bright neon blue lights, maybe some cool purples and some nice like gun silver metals. I just thought that would be a really cool combo together. But on top of it, I wanted to have some pops of other colors, so I had some yellows and oranges, and I did grab a red. I ended up not using it. All the colors on the left are the ones I did end up using in the final piece, but you know, it doesn't hurt to just try it out and see what it looks like in the color palette. I wasn't sure 100% where I was going to put everything. It's funny, I know a lot of artists who do color thumbnails first, which is the smart way of doing it, but me, I'm just like, meh, we'll figure it out as we go. So I just jumped in, and I knew I wanted the tongue to be blue and like the shading around the eyes to be dark, and that's about it. I had no other plans on where I wanted to place the colors, but I just kind of trusted my intuition. I'm like, all right, if this part is blue, then I think this part should be blue. And I just started mostly with the blue colors so that I knew where I wanted those bright blue highlights along this creature before I started going in with those purples and grays and basically introducing the darker colors. It really helps to like kind of pick like one set of colors to put down with Copics, I find, because then it's easier to build around them and see like, okay, in this area I want to make it darker because it's close to this lighter area, and that helps me a lot. I don't know if it would help you guys, but just something to think about when you're coloring and trying to do some planning on how you'd color these in. So with all the grays and blues, at least done for now, I decided I want to make the claws look like the Liger Zero claws. I was like, whatever, we're just gonna make those the yellow and orange. I just love the bright pop of the Liger claws, and I could talk about that thing forever. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just, God, it's been so long since I've seen this show. One of these days, I'm just gonna have to do like a watching party and rewatch this cheesy show that's probably super bad, especially watch it English dub. Maybe I'll have to find a Japanese one, but I just gotta rewatch it. And after I put in the yellows and oranges, I kind of started to feel out like what I wanted to do with the purples. Like at first I was like, yeah, let's just make this whole thing gray. But I was like, no, I remember in Zoids they did bright color mechs. Like everything had cool colors on it and bright colors and all that. Like there were some that were more in the blacks or the grays, but I would say majority of the Zoids had like a bright primary color. Like I remember there was a wolf that was all blue. The Liger, one of them was all blue and another was all white. And yeah, it's just, there's a lot of really cool, bright colors that go along with these Zoids. Like they're not just all metal, like plain, like either silver, gray, or green. Like if you base it off of army tanks, you know, like I feel those are like tan, gray, green, and tan, gray, green, and maybe black. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know all army tanks, but I just feel those are like the colors for tanks. So it's like Zoids just didn't do only those colors or like army approved colors. They had so many diverse colors, and I just loved how you could make basically them look like very fancy cars. They look like really cool, personalized, fancy ass cars. And then for this part of the process, I had a lot of fun doing the highlights and shadows. With metals, it is pretty intimidating still for me for figuring out how to highlight metals. I've been watching a lot of tutorials and checking out things on Skillshare and YouTube and just kind of watching how other artists do it. I still feel I have room to improve because I don't really draw a lot of shiny objects. The closest thing is like maybe swords or armor pieces, but not like a whole giant metal monster. Like I don't do that very often. So it was kind of intimidating to figure out how to do the shading and the highlights on this thing. There are some areas that I feel would need a little improvement, but you know, it's all learning. Like every single one of these I do, I'm learning something new, and I feel this is really good progress for me. Like I am so proud of this piece, guys. Like I hate mechs, and I finally did a mech that I like. Like, wow, what is this? What year is this? 2020? It is, because wow, I finally did a mech that I like. After years of loathing them and not wanting to touch them, I made one that I really liked. And we're coming up to the end of this piece. I just added some last minute highlights with my white gel pen, and we're all done. I really love how this mech turned out. I'm excited to see what you guys do. Like, I would consider this like either like a mech or a robot-esque dragon, so have at it with that theme. But let's go ahead and look at last week's entries for the Greed Dragon. You guys had a lot of cool entries, some really creepy dragons, some really cute ones. It was just a lot of cool diversity, and I'm like, I'm just gonna feature 3 this week because you guys really knocked it out of the park. I think there were so many cool ones. Siljedagner, I think I got that one right. Really love the design. I like how the scales look like the gold. I think you nailed that texturing, and I love how basically the whole design of the creature and its bigger ended tail. I love it. Looks really cool. Arbormera, I love that you put all the treasure in the mouth. I couldn't stop looking at all the little pieces that you had between the teeth. Really awesome work. And then Larktail, Jesus Christ, this one is creepy. You and Adian and Normal, I think I've seen a couple of creepy pieces from you guys, but it's really cool. I love all the claws and talons, and just the black and white also really sells it. Really cool work. And then all of you did such a great job. There is such wonderful diversity in your guys' dragons. I just loved them. Like, some of them were wearing jewelry and looked like little kings or queens, and then some were just like guarding their treasure. But either way, really awesome work, guys. And if you would like to participate in this week's Robot Dragon, go ahead and post it on Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag KM100Dragons. So thanks again, guys, so much for stopping by and checking out this video. And if you aren't already, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and join our little community. And I'm gonna go ahead and plug it here, Patreon. I would love your guys' support on Patreon. I'd love to make this my full-time career. And thank you to all my patrons who are already supporting me. You guys are amazing. And anyway, thanks for watching this. I appreciate you guys watching along with the 100 Dragon Challenge. And I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye, everybody.
It's a product of the light.